bathroom doors go in. She was pushing all her weight on the door, trying to get in. And I was pushing back because I didn't want to let her in, because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in the best of moods, you can hear. So when I was pushing the bathroom door, trying to close it, and was almost closed, she suddenly kind of yelped in pain. And she screamed out, "Ow, my toes or my foot or something." And so in that second, I thought possibly her foot had gotten caught under the door, which would, of course, not feel great on the foot or the toes, so I thought she was maybe injured. So I knelt down to have a look. The door was still, it was still pretty well about that much open. And when I knelt down on my hands and knees to look at her foot to see the injury, she kicked the bathroom door into my head. She kicked the bathroom door into my head, and I was completely taken aback by such a corrosive, horrific move. So I stood up, and I believe I stood up, and at this point the door was open. I stood up and I said, I think I said, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?" And the next move was just a bang. It just she clocked me in the jaw. I'd walked across the mezzanine there, and as I'm approaching the door, suddenly I'm just getting clobbered from behind, and one's natural primal instinct is to kind of duck and cover. So I ducked and covered, but they didn't stop. So I came up this like this, sort of protecting my face, but at the same time, with her arms swinging wildly, I put my arms out, and I was able to get her into a bear hug or something, just to stop her from hitting me anymore. And while holding her in that position, she was still trying to, she had her legs, she could kick, she could knee me. So she was still jumping, kind of very angry, very animated. I got up out of bed, and I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I sat her down on the bed. And I said, "I'm leaving. Please don't get off the bed. Please don't follow me. Please don't try and stop me. I'm leaving." And she got up off the bed, and she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? And I said, "Go ahead. Hit me." Bam. And then I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another? Bam. There's the second one. And I said, good, now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone. I went, I grabbed a few things, and I got out immediately, and I went to my other house. Verbally, nothing. I sat there, or laid there, reading my book. And when she didn't get a jump out of me or a jolt out of me, she got out of bed, she walked around the bed, she came to my side, and again, you know, you've got a person who is throwing multiple shots at your face, at your head, at your neck, at anything she could hit. One of these incidents would occur. It seemed to get worse and worse. That is to say, as opposed to fists or anything like that. I'd set up on the back porch of the house. I'd set up an area with an easel and oil paints and a can of mineral spirits, linseed oil, brushes, everything. So she wanted to paint. So I had set it up for, and again, I remember sitting at the table where most of the paintbrushes and the can and all that stuff was. And the argument, again, escalated, and she simply reached down and grabbed the can of mineral spirits and chucked it at my face. She threw it at my face, and it struck me right at the bridge of the nose for him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm not just sure it's offered for the truth of the matter asserted.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well, then.
I'm learning.
There you go.
Let me put it a different way. Mr. Drew, who was a chef, which I don't believe is hearsay, Mr. Drew had made Mexican food Ms. Hurd's favorite. Is that better? On the way downtown, I received a text from Ms. Hurd asking me to bring, asked if I could bring some wine and some weed. And I texted back, sure. Occasionally she would tear herself from the conversation that she was in and just to lean towards me. I was sitting to her right, and I would get a quick earful of, I can't believe you've done this to me on my birthday. I can't believe I'm so embarrassed. You know, which I found odd because I'd kept her informed all day, and the last text that I'd received was a request for wine and marijuana. So when I got there and received that attitude, what could I do? So I just made the best of it and talked to her friends, and because they were all her friends except for, I believe, Nurse Erin. Erin was there, I believe.
What's Erin's last name?
Erin Borum, Nurse Erin, who had been the nurse assigned to Ms. Hurd. So I just had conversations with the various people there. Her makeup artist, Melanie Iglesias, was there with her fella, and I remember speaking French with them. At that point, there was so much in my head from the meeting I thought it was a bit much that Miss Heard had, I'm sorry, it seemed quite brattish, it seemed quite childish that Miss Heard was holding such a grudge against me for having been late to her 30th birthday party when she knew very well, she was well informed that I was in an intense meeting that had a lot to do with not just my life and my future,